Welcome to Soveryn Podcast, the independent voice of Luxembourg.
All right, hello, this is Paul Connery, host of Soveryn Podcast, where we discuss the highs and lows of startup culture, being independent and building a brand. And additionally, because we're here with my good friend Trev, we're building a body. If you're a decision maker at any level in the value chain, we want to hear from you. So, Trev, I guess this is a recap.
Yeah, it's a bit of a recap. If you remember, the focus for last week was the food. We're still focusing on the food. We talked about you weighing in and about making time for training, saving some energy for you and doing a bit of like physical activity.
Yeah.
So I think we'll change it around a bit this week and ask you to comment on how the week went relating to those topics.
Okay, so I'm still sensitive when you comment on food that I know was incorrect, and at the same time I'm reminded about a day later how valuable it is and how thankful I am that I have you tell me things about, but it also makes me laugh because you were saying like at least I'm honest. So I every once in a while I fight about it, but I say, what's the point of doing this if I'm not honest? So I'll say yes, I had a Snickers.
Yeah, it's funny. The Snickers stuck in my head. I mean, we got. I think what started it was the 3 croissants for breakfast.
I did, but I said they were tiny. It was in Paris. It was a tiny.
So when that was my first hit.
Yeah.
When you mentioned the Snickers, I mean, I jumped on it. But what was interesting, you jumped straight back at me. It's emotional, and it's better to share the emotion than hide the emotion. Let's get it all out on the table.
Yeah.
So go on, carry on with the food.
Yeah, and then there was, as I mentioned, I was traveling, and I did not bad. I broke the diet a little bit eating in restaurants, but not as. I almost always took the decision to temper what I would have done in the past.
Yep.
So almost always removed anything with potatoes or fries. Always chose vegetables and salads. And would try to go with like a lean protein.
Brilliant. We talk about sustainable. That's exactly what sustainable is. Paul was off to Paris for a weekend.
Yeah.
It's a. I'll come to it in a bit later on about weekends away. City breaks are a nightmare for keeping the discipline.
Yeah, and especially because I had been in a routine of cooking on Sunday and getting about at least 3 or 4 good meals organized in advance. Yeah. And so I got a bit out of that routine. But that being said, getting your comments when I came back also they hurt, and they reminded me to not lose.
Yeah.
All the work the momentum we've built.
Yep. You're not on your own. Everybody I deal with it's a daily. Everybody who's listening to this who I work with will know. I contact daily and I comment daily.
Absolutely, you do.
I don't wish to be rude, but it's like I'm pointed with the comments, and it works. You know, for sure. As I'm looking at you now, I've not seen you all week this week. I can see that. Again, you've lost more weight.
Yeah.
I can see you're brighter, you're sparkly. The weighing in. We've had a bit of fun over the weighing in as well. Okay,
so when I came back from Paris, I had gained a little bit. Not terrible, about really about 1.5 kilos, up to 2 kilos. But I know with me that goes really quickly. And since then, people have commented already that I've lost more again.
Yeah.
But it discouraged me.
Yeah.
It upset me, and I knew that with me in early stages of weight loss, particularly when I'm just beginning to put something down into a routine, I decided to just park it for a little bit because I vacillate.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah.
And this is like we said, it's always going to develop. The way we work is not like the way I work with somebody else, or Tony, or this guy, or that guy.
Yeah.
It's all about you. And we talked a little bit before we came on. You're taking the wheel, which is what I want. I don't want to be driving the car the whole time,
Yeah.
And again, if we move on to this energy and training, over to you again. You're taking control.
Yeah, so I think I'm less afraid of the training, as you were mentioning, just before we got started, that my recovery time is faster, and that's making the experience of training actually, there are moments of joy rather than just pain.
Massively. The training now, we'll have to bring the camera or at least get something to get in footage, where before, it's an hour training session.
Yeah.
The first couple of weeks, 20 minutes you was done. What happens is now is, you get tired, you recover, which means you enjoy the whole session.
Yeah.
Incomparable with early on.
And I was able to genuinely enjoy, we did some fun things. We had water cannons.
Yeah.
And you know what? Actually working out in the heat and humidity at the end of the day was nice.
Yeah. Oh, it's brilliant. The heat training's superb.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure for me. The other thing is Paul's become a bit of a celebrity in the group as well because he gives it all every time. And it's like, people look at him, I've got a tractor tyre. If people see Paul going up and down on that tyre, giving everything, it encourages the others to jump up and down. You've seen it,
Yeah.
to jump up and down and give everything. So no, brilliant week. And I don't wish to say you can do the steps for fun, but you can make your weekly target.
I can make my weekly target. I think still steps are a challenge due to the nature of my work, which means that I do have to deal with the car a fair bit. I have rare moments in my week where I don't have to use the car at all. Those are golden days for me, because that means I can hike into work, I can hike back, and I try to get up on my feet as much as possible. The co-working here, it's relatively long. As much as possible, I can walk back and forth to get printouts or whatnot. That'll get in an extra 1,000 steps. The problem for me is when I have days where from 7:30 in the morning till 9 at night, I'm zooming around in a car. And you just, at the end of the day, you're like, oh my God, I've done 2,100 steps. And you're already exhausted. And a couple times, just to spite myself and to spite you, I went out and just circled the blocks till midnight. So I said, I'm not going back in the house till this says 9,001 steps.
Honestly, that's the spirit. I don't know if anybody's watching this on video. Paul's not even aware. I'm sat watching Paul now, and he's bouncing around, he's moving, he's agile. We talked in the early days about the weight is restrictive. People don't want to move as much when they carry more weight. The first week, I'm going to go back and look at it afterwards. The first week, Paul sat almost like a statue. Now he's leaping around on the chair. Real big difference. So great week. Anything else?
No, I think that's it, really.
So when I come in, it's all about Paul. But I always try and bring something up, which is pertinent to Paul, but what's happening in my group. There's always things happening. I've got a big group of people of total diversity. The thing that's come up this week over and over again is this: I've not got time to train. I'm too busy, I've got this. So I could talk about all sorts of it. I'll pick on, there's one guy who trains with me. He has a 1 hour session per week. He joins in the groups, but a 1 hour session, and he's disciplined on that. I'll train at any time. If he tells me he's free at 6 o'clock in the morning, it's 6 o'clock in the morning. If it's 10 o'clock at night, it's 10 o'clock at night. This week he came to me and said, I haven't got an hour. And he really meant it. So I went back to him, and it's a fact, there's 168 hours in a week. If you can't make 1 hour for yourself, it just amazes me. And
that to me has to be the standout message of this podcast.
And I'm going to try and build on it. It's about prioritising. All the time I'm thinking of ways to say to people, like, to get the message over, just train, do a little bit of fitness. I'm not expecting big things, but try and change something. So one of the things I'm going to bring across is I get people to do a pie chart when I start training with them. So I say, like, how many hours a week do you do this? How many hours a week do you do that? It's a fact, without exception. People spend more time cleaning the house than even thinking about training. They spend more time doing the laundry. They spend more time washing the car. And social media and TV. And it's like all those are way above like 30 minutes fitness and well-being. And I just want to say to people, like, just somewhere, put a pie chart, have a look what you're doing with your 168 hours. Can you get 30 minutes, a half of one of those hours, or 1 hour to do something? So I've got this guy on one side who's struggling. On the other side, I've got a lady who's joined me. And she's now in her 5th week. This lady, she's a single parent, 2 children. She works. She's got a busy job. She has decided, whatever happens, she's going to make 2 hours a week. She has made 2 hours a week without exception. I'm going to try and get her on the show at some time.
That makes sense.
I mean, it's her words, like life-changing. She's never felt like this before. A whole new experience. She can't believe the difference it's making just by getting up and moving. And I'm only saying, like, don't be extreme. Just do a little bit, just get moving. One of the other things I want to focus on is, like, the importance of our body. And I'm thinking, how do I get it across? So for me, I'm getting on a bit now, I'm getting old. I must have had 10 houses, 20 cars, 10 motorbikes, iPhones, laptops, computers, everything. The only thing that I've got from the beginning of my life to the end is my body.
That's such a profound message.
That's ultimately all we take with us from the beginning to the end. So it's like, okay, focus on the house, okay, focus on the car, okay, focus on the next iPhone. But somewhere
Just
put a little bit of focus on the body that you take with you.
Very powerful. And I have to say, Trev, I don't think you're modest, and I think it's important for me to say to anyone who is listening that what you have really fundamentally changed in my life is the ability to take small steps consistently on this topic, and this has improved things all around. And the other thing is how you don't make the session about pain. It's fun.
Yeah, it's just trying to, like you say, it's sustainable.
It's sustainable.
That's all it is. It's sustainable. The lady who's on week 5, if I could have drawn a graph of her performance over the 5 weeks, it's gone like that.
Yeah.
It's absolutely brilliant. The other one, my final one before I start ranting on too much, somebody once said to me, nobody likes to look at our own future.
Yeah.
But what I say, and I said this to you, Paul, and I say it to everybody who I sit down with, like, look into your own future with your current lifestyle.
Wow.
So whatever you're doing now, however your body is behaving, however you feel, when you're climbing into a chair, when you're getting out of a chair, when it's 32 degrees and you're struggling down the street, have a look what it's going to be like. Think about 10 years' time.
Incredible.
It's now you can make the change.
I would like to end the podcast right there.
Great.
That's an amazing message.
Yeah. Right.
10 years' time.
Yeah, exactly. Start now and everything will be good in 10 years.
Thanks so much, Trev.
Cheers.
See you next week.
Thank you.